all paying attention to the video. They had some of their episodes where the video didn't record, which makes me feel like, okay, so even Red Band, who's been doing this for 20 years or so, is probably the most experienced podcast producer in the world. He's been able to have two of the most successful podcasts in global history, and that doesn't include everything he did with your Motown and some of the others that he's done. And he has whatever. This one guy, Tony came in. He's on his podcast like three or four of them, and he's like, the third podcast didn't record, and I'm like, all right, well, don't worry, I have. And if anything, I was thinking I could just go back and watch those and tell him what he said, or whatever, redo it, or we could just listen to it online. But the sound on. And I told him, but this should be a later on, I told him where he could find it. But I told him you should recognize that this should be a lesson. Keep redundant backups. And like say to me, wow, isn't it on YouTube? That's what I did at the beginning. And then they take you back to one. And I've got to say, did I deserve to get my YouTube account banned in the first place? Yeah, I would say so. And the reason why is because I was very stubborn and I didn't read the rules or anything. And I've been on YouTube. I saw YouTube shows nudity. If you go to some channel, they show it's considered artistic nudity. And also the Playboy YouTube channel has nudity. So it's like, okay, well, they show nudity. So why can't I read and just be like an 8? I consider this a YouTube. I think that will be fun. And that was really not fun. And so I lost my account. I absolutely, they don't want to, for some reason, Google does not want to be at all pornographic, even though you can find pornography. They have safe search. But like Bing is like the Wild Wild West. Bing is literally porn search. And yeah, nobody uses it. I think that will change in the future. Oh, the thing that you said me about the kilt in whatever, that line of those pants. I think they'll just let them wear shorts. I think they will because they want more of an audience. But then the other thing that I sent you, and I really think this will be a thing. It will be a big thing. Like NASCAR golf carts. Just advertising everywhere. Yeah, I mean they fought this for a while. They had it was a big case like I don't know, 20 years ago. There was a guy, I think his name was Casey or something, and he had he had some kind of issue, and he did a golf cart, and so he fought with the Americans with Disabilities Act, Disability Act, and tried to. He wanted a golf cart at the Masters and then Augusta National, which is like the most conservative of all of them, and maybe all of them. They were like absolutely not, and they fought for it. The thing is, it wasn't a good enough golfer to like be able to make on all these tournaments where he would have been, it would have been different for Rory McIlroy or for Tiger Woods or somebody, but it was not. To me, they should allow them to use the cart. It would make the pace of play much faster. And that's important. I'm surprised they don't. Pace of play is such a for the common person who already like the only people I've ever known to watch golf, if it's not a major, are like old middle-aged men and they take a nap. Those are the only people who watch golf. No kids watch golf. No women watch golf. I've never known a woman to watch golf to be like an athlete. I mean, I don't know that many women who are really into these sports, but if you had guys wearing shorts and like tight shirts and stuff, I bet you know how to get on it. They let the women wear shorts. Why not the? Yeah, but there are they are. But here's the thing: they never had competition, and they had to live golf or whatever, which I thought was gonna fucking destroy. And now it's like going through bankruptcy. I thought that fucking Saudi Arabia fund or whatever was supposed to keep it afloat, or not keep it afloat, but like basically put the PGA Tour out of business. The PGA Tour was basically like, we're not merging, we're keep everything the same. And even Rory McIlroy said the PGA Tour should merge with Live Golf, said that mistake. And now Live Golf is like, and that's just shocking. They supposedly had all this money behind it, and it's like Saudi Arabia just felt like, I don't know, it's like they were excellent. Yeah, Phil Mickelson and some other people. Um, but the only person I couldn't get much work. Well, and Tiger Woods. Those were the two. The PGA Tour said basically these are our. I think they may have gotten Jordan, maybe I don't know, but basically the PGA Tour said we cannot let our biggest guys go. If we let our biggest guys go, we can basically pack it. And they fought very hard to avoid any kind of. They fought very hard to avoid any kind of merger and avoid any poaching over the top two guys. And it looks like they're going to be successful. They're going to outlive golf. I've said this before. I haven't said it today. I think I just said it a minute ago. I could see eventually the I think it's called the Qatari Masters. It's something like that. Be bigger than the Masters tournament. Uh, like the Masters is big, but it's very American, and there isn't really a big international tournament in that that's taken seriously. And they were going to offer a lot more, and so I think in the future that could be a really big tournament. Um, they say, well, I think it's Qatar, and the thing is, like, I keep saying, but Qatar doesn't have that many events. Like, I think they bribed the FIFA officials to get the World Cup there in like 2022 or whatever. And I think that they just are basically like, um, okay, is there an opportunity for us to buy the sport? And if there is, then you just tell us what the price is. And I also think there's been an argument, and again, I could be wrong on this. I'm not a member of the Masters. The membership at the Masters, I should say at Augusta National, doesn't really like the Masters, or some people there don't like the Masters. They're like, yes, it makes it so that everybody knows about us and everything, but we're all, every single person who's a member here is like a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, and we don't need that tournament. And it brings in all kinds of like, um, all kinds of, yeah, exactly. And we don't need it. Like, but basically, the whole spring is dedicated to the Masters, and we don't. It's not like the club's going to close. We have the deepest pockets of anyone in the world when it comes to golf. So it's like we don't need it, and so let's not even have it played anymore. And I think that the people who run it are basically like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's still what people. That's why they know us, and it's why you wanted to be a member in the first place, is because it's the biggest golf tournament in the world. But I could even see that happening someday, where the, the people in Augusta are just like, look, it's too much of a hassle. All of this stuff, dude. They have some sweet stuff. My dad used to go to the Masters, and he would bring back uh, like all this. Talk about like, and I've even read, but like all the merchandise is really pretty. How much it was then, but this is like in the 80s. But you would get like now today. I was looking at their menu. Have you seen their menu? Yeah, for the Masters, like how much do you think the sandwich is? The big thing is a palmetto sandwich. How much do you think a palmetto sandwich is during the Masters? It's the Masters. It's a I know. If I would have said no, it's not, then you would have guessed $100. So I played you, son. Um, but yeah, I, that's a big thing. They used to. You don't get tickets. You get badges, which is different. And it's a wait. Like you could be 50. The way my dad knew who could get it, and knew like and stuff. And all the golf course superintendents of the major country superintendents and stuff. They could every year, you're like in one of the major country clubs, they give the superintendents of the and so, but it's not like like it. I remember this one time we had this. So my cousins had a friend of theirs who um, Newport Beach who grew up like in Newport Beach. It's like arguably the nicest place in the county. We're going to beach Newport Beach. There are some parts of it. And he started he started a basket company. You're like a basket company, yeah. Like gift baskets from the gift baskets like the NFL and stuff that he took off. So he became a multi-millionaire and have like pumping. And one time, this person was, it was really late. My cousin's friend was like, I didn't get tickets to the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, and Major League Baseball, and the Stanley Cup all in the same week. He was telling my dad, if you want to go, you just tell me, and we'll go. My dad didn't really want to go like that. How about the Masters? The Masters. You obviously don't know anything. It's the biggest. It's the biggest tournament. And this guy was on the phone for like 2 hours in the middle of trying to get Masters. And eventually to get it. Well, you could fit in potentially. They don't want it to be a Super Bowl or NASCAR event or something. It's like you have to wear when you go. You're not. It's all everything's different there. It's not the crowd. You don't call it the crowd or the audience or anything. You call it patrons. And they're very specific about that. They don't refer to as any patrons. But the club doesn't need the money. That's why the food's so cheap. That's why the merchandise is so cheap. So, like, I think well, it's just they don't need the money. So why charge people an arm and a leg food when they don't? And that means that people aren't going to have as good of a time. Or instead, if we just basically give the food away, it's just like white bread and cheese. It's not like anything complicated. People are going to talk about this and rave about it and say how nice it was and how great they were treated and everything. And that's what people do. So, and that's it. It's allowed on the ground. I've always wanted to go and see it myself. God willing. Yeah, I agree. They there are some courses like I played Donald Trump's golf course, which is right on the ocean, like Pebble Beach. And everybody actually is. It's like being. And I've worked on. I've worked at golf course. It is a lot like art, or it's like almost like a living art piece. It's it's like a living. I don't know how to describe it. It's for like a organism. It's just like I know some super intense course. It can be stressful, certainly, when they have presentation is and stuff. And people think like, oh, what's the big deal? But there are all kinds of chemicals that the superintendent has. And you get it, members who aren't happy, and just like there's a reason why every inch of Augusta is so. I would have my dad visit. It's nice to look on television. It's nice. But the flowers are all everything's perfect. First week in April, and like everything's blossoming. There's a reason why they do it. There's a reason why they do it. That's peak time for like baseball. That's why they choose. The Masters can you basically choose when it wants to be. I mean, that's another. You ever watch it on television? Like sponsored by I don't know, like Ford Motor Company or something, so that the commercials are limited. And the really short. Exactly. And the Masters, Augusta Nationals, like we don't need that money. We want it to look really, really nice for the world, the viewer, exactly. But we don't need the money, and so I think it's a little different when it's on ESPN. Like, but ESPN usually only has the first 2 days, and even so, like, uh, not even on ESPN, for days on CBS. But that's another thing. Like that's always like which by this guy named Logan, not Kenny Logan, Kenny Logan was president or something. Public Augusta Supervisor or something like that. Um, and it's like when you hear that music, it just puts you in a mood. It just puts me in a mood. It's serene and like, it's calm. And then they have Jim Nance who does it. It was always like Jim Nance or something, but like even if you just hear their voices, then you have the guy in the background. There's no her name and talking about 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, or whatever. And I don't know. The Masters has always played a big role in my life. Jack Nicklaus won in 1986. That's the last time he won, and he was the oldest major winner at the time. And Jackie, his son, was caddy for him, and I was just a baby when that happened, and I was like, told you watching it. My dad loved the next year, which was arguably the best Masters. The Masters ended, I believe it was on a playoff, playoff like a far, very mild people right now. And it was like bonkers weird. Um, and then, uh, and then when I was getting really into golf, like 1990, well, I was already, I started playing, but I would watch. I remember my group watching the U.S. Amateur, and normally I wouldn't watch the U.S. Amateur, but I was at a friend's house or something, and we were watching the final round of the 1995 U.S. Amateur, which again nobody watches the U.S. Amateur. It's not like it's just not a thing. But there was this guy named Patrick, and I remember movies of this guy's been through that. The Cypress, Southern California, all of our works have been through that I would, many of which I did through the world. And, I just I have I've been through there. I've been through there. I've been in that area. And, um, I'm gonna say where I was born. Yeah, all kinds of. And I know his friends went. Um, Word. Um, for many years, it was the most expensive public course in the United States, and um, it's beautiful. It's in Carmel. Yeah, I totally see that. If you do that, you got to see Donald Trump's course in Rancho Palos Verdes. I was there with my family, not like a few years ago, like, let's see here, like I think it was 2019 or something, and it's one of those courses where just absolutely everything is perfect. It is a public course, but it has like private means to it. And when I've been there, or whenever like, I've been there a few times. Um, it was during the Trump administration, and there are all these people who are boycotting it, and so you could go there and have the place to yourself. And I played it on camera, and it was a really sad thing. Really, really sad that I played it, and the vision is just really bad at a distance. Even though I glanced it was really the first time I was sport that I really love. I can no longer play because I couldn't find the ball. Even sometimes right down the middle, but I just could not track the ball. And um, I would play at of course I can see my ball, but I can't like once it gets too like really far away, I just can't see it anymore. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I'm not saying that like I yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, when I at least played Donald Trump, of course, it was bright blue day, sky day, but it's called Trump It is in California. It's on the ocean. Yeah, it's Rancho Palos Verdes. Look at its location. It's like no, it's like in LA's backyard. Look at its location. I described it before. It is the most valued real estate I think it is. It is just spectacular. I mean, everybody talks about Pebble Beach, and I've been through there, and I would say at least from a of like a value of the real estate, this Trump National Golf Course is going to be tough because it's surrounded by a city, yet it is far enough away that it is quiet and it's beautiful and it's serene. It's just like it's the nicest you could ever want to feel. It's got like I don't know, and it's just I can't say enough good things about it. Now, one thing that I wish I don't know why I was streaming it and recording at the same time. So half the time I was like, worried about my stream, so I couldn't focus on my round, and additionally my I was late for my tea time, and the reason why I was late for my tea time, uh, I forget exactly what, but it was like I forgot a battery or something that I knew that I probably would need because I would be like streaming for like something. So I went, drove back to Irvine to get it, and I even called the clubhouse and I'm like, I'm gonna be about 15 minutes late or something. I'm just making you aware. And they're like, no big deal, that's fine. And then I got there like maybe 20 minutes late, and there was still nobody there. And I was so nervous because it's like it's like $100, and I just got into my cart and just started going. And I think I grabbed the cart. I was just like, normally they put your name, like your name is on the cart, and I just, but then I keyed off and I calmed down a little bit, and it's just, it's, I'm sure Augusta's nicer, I'm sure it is, but Augusta doesn't have anything on the views of this. It just, you were saying like, absolutely, 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 100%. Now, I could be wrong, certainly. There's like the sixth hole of Pebble Beach, which is like it's the picture hole. But Trump National, the thing is, Trump National Golf Course is not as old as Pebble Beach. It's a newer course, so it hasn't had a chance for people to go and actually see it. And it's had all this shit because Donald Trump owns it and people protest outside of it and stuff. But it is such a course that I don't know how you it's warmer. Like Pebble Beach is really foggy if you've ever seen it. Sometimes they have fog delays. Not saying that Colorado doesn't have it either. Colorado have this marine layer that is so thick that it's like you're like the whole and that and I almost moved permanently to but I visited some family there, and they like the nicest, just like a house, but it's worth tens of, or maybe not tens of millions of dollars. Definitely millions of dollars on the east bay, and it's not in San Francisco. It's near Berkeley, and when their guest bedroom, when the sun sets, you see the sun setting right. I mean, they have views of Bay Bridge, Golden Gate Bridge, all of San Francisco. But when the sun sets, it's like it's like a paint. It was like just the whole skyline was like right there. And I had an uncle of mine who was the CEO of America Corporation. And if you've ever seen in the skyline of San Francisco, it has the world's tallest pyramid. It's it's on my own. He also had a place in Key West. He had a place in San Francisco. Office was very confident here, and I always thought that was kind of fun. Like, you could see this guy's office. So yeah, I mean, I had was of interest to me. And the reason why I didn't move there was because it was cold. It's like, that is, LA's way warmer. And yeah, but anyway, I know you're like, dude, you fucking are so full of shit about wanting to play and all you do is yeah. I, I, I'm getting more and more frustrated how long yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years. It's not like I keep adding this stuff. And I'm also 100% right here. Like, you do your fucking bots and everything. You're absolutely right. I give you that. Because, I talk about how much I multitask and stuff. And any moment that I don't have a bot going, I feel I'm wasting because I feel that like if we're playing and I don't have a bot going, I just say to myself, this is another day. Like it could have been viral if I just focused on this, but instead I'm sitting here playing mini golf or whatever, just letting time go by. So at least I have all my shit going. Then I don't feel as guilty. And yeah, I only have like some computers that have handle that. Most don't have that capacity to do that. They're basically like so. I think they're six years do what I mean. It just um, and I just learned yesterday how to add Linux to my Chromebooks. Everybody says because you can do a lot more with it. Download like you can download stuff off. I think that's not on Google Play and stuff. And everybody talks about how that's pretty cool. However, makes it very difficult to use anything not, not on their server. And like all those things are, are um, really, yeah, I mean, basically, what I did yesterday, but still, it makes it really, really system. And then on top of that, I'm running there. I'm 24/7 in multiple Discord calls while streaming from the device simultaneously using multiple browsers. It's a lot on the and if I do too much on there, I get browser crashes and stuff. So like I have to be just overwhelming the device. All right, let's see here. Dude, I cannot believe how long this shit takes. It's really a shame. Though, what I was just doing
I'm talking, I'm doing it too, so I'm not as focused as I want to be. But um, I'm not kidding. It might take me 2 hours a day of all of this, starting the streams, and it's like, well, you don't have to have so many different streams going. I know, I recognize that. If I only have one stream going, I feel like anybody can do that. My big thing is I'm creating as much data as possible, and I know that in the future, data there will be some kind of cap. I almost guarantee it. I've talked about previously, where in order to go live, you have to pay to go live. Have you ever heard of Library LBRY? It's also known as ODYSEE. It's not streaming software; it's a website. It's like BitChute. It's just like one of these alternatives. And in order to store your data on their website, you have to pay crypto. Not a lot of crypto, but it's a little bit of crypto. And I could see that happening in the future. Like if you want to store your shit on Google or on YouTube, you have to pay to have your shit archived on there. Right. I think a lot of it will get grandfathered in because you got a lot of created stuff on YouTube and they've died, and YouTube still makes a lot of money off of that stuff, and they don't want it to go away. And I can see new accounts and stuff. They just say like we're basically the only game in town from storage. also automatic.
That's phenomenal. It's amazing to me that none of those systems work. Like you shouldn't need 6 different systems to do what everybody wants to do. Right. But it's like that's like saying like, um, oh, you want to drive somewhere? Okay, well you need 6 different cars because one might need tires, one might be out of gas, and one's engine always blows. And I don't. It's just you get it. Just build one car that works and have a have a system within that if it fails that there's a fail safe. I was writing about um or like had as a topic to write about in one of my articles that's about um like power grid of a backup that when somebody does